So the day before the Belmont Stakes, I'm here focusing on the Golden Hour Pick 4. And if you looked at the thumbnail of this video, um, last Saturday, the Golden Pick 4 had a payout over $20,000. So, and yeah, with Golden Gate closing, for having its final day of racing this Sunday, I want to take this opportunity to bet the Golden Hour Pick 4 before it's gone forever. So, at the moment, is these are going to be my thoughts, and because um, not things could change when I'm at San Mateo, because that's where I plan to go today to make the wager. But these are my thoughts for the Golden Hour Pick 4. There's some of them are definites and some of them are maybes. So I'm going to go over those right now. Because the first leg is race 8 in Santa Anita, and it's a mile race. So one of the horses I'm thinking about is number 2. This is a maiden race, but number 2 should have won his first race, but he was disqualified. So he would never have been in this race had he won. He would probably have been in an allowance race. So this is my definite choice. For my first leg is Lilo Song, the number 2 horse. The other horse I'm kind of considering though. This one, no, one horse I'm considering is number 1 is Hurricane Way, and his first 2 starts have been on turf. So he finished second the first time and ninth the last time. But I think with a new trainer, I think they want to try to see how this horse runs on dirt, and with Curlin as his broodmare sire, I think he has enough dirt pedigree in him. So that's another consideration for this first play. The other one I'm really considering, the one I am considering, is number 7 Duran. Even though he's a maiden, he's the last 2 times he's finished third, and he's had a 70s buyer speech figure and an 80. This is a drop in class, so yeah, he's the favorite right now because of the competition that he's raced. So that's in an 8-horse field. He's my second definite choice. The other one I'm thinking about is Triple Pass, and this one can be very befuddling because Into Mischief is like the leading stallion in America, 5-time leading sire. However, his son Audible is known to do pretty well in turf races. So this horse has run his first race was on turf, and he didn't run well at all. And underlined some notes that this is his dam was 2 for 12, but both wins came on dirt. And trainer McCarthy, his stat hasn't done well in terms of getting horses from running from turf to dirt. But one thing I noticed about Triple Pass is, even though he's in a claiming race, he was Triple Crown nominated. So his owners really thought of him as a potential Kentucky Derby horse. Otherwise, they wouldn't nominate him. So, considering that, I think this is a play. This horse, Triple Pass, is another horse. Is another horse I'm considering for the first leg of the Golden Hour Pick 4. The second leg of the Golden Hour Pick 4 is race 5 at Golden Gate Fields, and I don't have any definites on these horses, but there are some horses I'm considering for the second leg, and one of them is number 1 Skymaker. If you look at some excuse me, if you look at his races this year, he's won half of his race this year. He's finished third in the last race, and and another third, but prior to that, in between, he's finished first. So this is a turf course, and his last win was on a turf course. And if you look at the pedigree, it's mostly looks like it's with Sky Mesa and Pulpit. He's this mare. She is has a dirt pedigree, even though this is on turf. But the last win was on turf, so that's one horse I'm considering as Sky Maker. Um, the other horse I'm considering is I'm looking at, and maybe this could be a pace setter, is Proof of Jazz. So Idiot Proof is a sprinter, and most of the if you look at the past performance, have been a mile. So I'm not sure if this is the horse I would be considering playing in my pick 4. However, this horse could determine the outcome of the second leg, because it appears that this is a front runner who can't finish first and within a mile. So this horse could actually affect the second leg of the Golden Hour pick 4. The other one horse I'm considering number 5 is Radium. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. The last win was on turf, as was at Golden Gate Fields, so that was the last win. But if you look at the other races, this filly hasn't done well. Yet the competition that she has faced have been in Southern California, and I think it's a encouraging sign that her first race up in Golden Gate Fields, and she's undefeated, that she won. So in terms of facing the tougher competitions in SoCal, it's encouraging that a horse who comes up north wins. So this is a horse I'm considering playing. One other horse and this is a favorite right here, is Grace Period. I noted the pedigree because of through Giants Causeway and Spadestown, this horse is in British Secretariat. But and I noted too the competitions in SoCal hasn't won. So, and it's not only that it hasn't won, with the exception of one race, most of the races have been either 5th or 6th, and that's even including with jockeys like with Frankie Dettori. But the odds maker has made it this favorite because based on the competition. So I don't know if I'm going to leave this horse out, but at the same time, I don't want to leave this horse out. If I do and I don't get the golden pick 4, this horse wins this race, and I end up losing the pick 4 because I didn't put this horse in one of my legs. So, but I'm still considering it, thinking about it. If there's a wild card on the second leg, it's Magic Light. This horse is by Curlin, and rarely do you see like Curlin's running at Golden Gate Fields. So, and most of all the races the last 5 races have been on turf with better competition, and with the exception of that one win, hasn't run well. In addition, the last race she ran was in August of last year. So the only reason why I put it as a wild card is because as this is a turf race, and that's because of Curlin. So this is just a wild card. Just something to consider. So the third leg of the Golden Hour pick 4 is race 9 in Santa Anita. So this is a mile race on the turf. So these are the horses I'm considering. And actually the first one this is a definite, is number 5, Flavius. Flavius, if you look at the pedigree, Warfront, known as a great turf sire, and Starformer was a graded stakes winner on the turf. This horse is a 9-year-old, and it's undefeated this year. So this is a definite play. Granted, with the pedigree and its performance, this is a definite play on the third leg of the Golden Hour pick 4. Another definite play is number 6, Cali Bay. So I noted half of the Santa Anita starts on turf is finished in the money. So if you look at the form right here, the last race was 4th. However, the prior 2 races have finished 1st. So in terms of consistency, yeah, this horse is pretty consistent on the with his last 3 runnings, and has an affinity of Santa Anita turf. One horse I'm considering is Fantastic, and I've noted right now it's won about a third of its Santa Anita turf races. If you look at the buyer speed figures, even though the last 4 races in terms of finishing hasn't done well, it has run in either, let's say, mid to high 80s buyer speed figures and a high 70 buyer speed figure. So that's a horse I'm considering playing. And since the third leg of the Golden Hour Pick 4 is a 12 horse field, I might consider doing four horses in this leg, given that it's a 12 horse field. So another horse I'm considering is Vancy, and I noted that it's been about a year race, and but the only thing is, I should say consider it's just something to look at, because a horse like this I would never consider, except the jockey. The jockey is Antonio Fresu, is I believe, is the leading jockey at Santa Anita. So this is a horse that maybe is a consideration. But the one horse I am thinking about more of is the last horse right here, and that's Man Friday. American Pharoah he's meant to sire horses who prefer turf. So he's won. He's started twice this year. Finished first once and second. Let's see. Says, yeah, has finished first once. The time was fourth. But I've noted that in 9 Sanya turf appearances, he's finished four times in the money. So at 12-1 odds, this is a horse I'm considering, and I think this could be a legitimate long shot for the third leg of the Golden Hour Pick 4. So the last leg of the Golden Hour Pick 4 is race 6 at Golden Gate Fields, and this is a 5.5 furlong on Tapeta. So it's a 7-horse field, and so these are some of the horses I'm thinking about. And actually, it's actually the first 3 that I'm thinking about. Canheo Malo, number 1. If you look at the buyer speeds figures, last 4 races, it's been a steady increase. So sometimes there's horses who have big jumps in the buyer speed figures, but this horse starting in February, I would say, has buyer speed figures that hasn't been increasing. So that's one horse that's considering play. Another one is number 2 is Water Relief. In this case here, the buyer speed figures have been increasing, except the last 2 races it's a huge jump. So it's when you take out the 49 buyer speed figures, most of the buyer speed figures has been, let's say, if you take the average, maybe around the high 20s. So you wonder, considering that this could be a bounce performance, even though it finished third with its higher buyer speed figures, but it's a horse that's another consideration. Number 3 is the favorite, it appears like, and is Uplift, and so this horse is kind of like, when it comes to consistency, yeah, you could look at the last 3 performances, and it's been inconsistent. He ran one race where it was a 54 buyer speed figure, yet the next race was 41, and then after that he ran a 55 buyer speed figure. So yeah, it's kind of, let's say, befuddling in terms of the performance. Most of the races have been in Southern California with the first race at Golden Gate Fields, and it said this horse actually, even though finished third, was second. So that's a horse that I'm considering because he's a morning line favorite. A lot of what I've noticed, I've read the form was Bertacci is another horse that people are considering for this race. He ran fifth, but with a buyer speed figure of 48. And if you look at some of the horses here, most of the horses here have run like 40 buyer speed figure. So he's in consideration. So mostly I'm going to consider probably betting mostly in the Golden Hour Pick 4, but I'll probably look at it. I'm not sure if I'll bet on a couple races on the day before the Belmont Stakes, but I probably just will think about it. Um, and the reason I say that is I want to have more money to spend on to bet the following day, on Derby Day, on the Kentucky Derby the day before. I lost pretty big. I wouldn't have been big. I probably lost about, if I think about it, close to $200. It's not that much, but it did affect my gambling the following day. I wasn't aggressive, so and also there was no Golden Hour Pick 4. So had there been Golden Hour Pick 4, I probably would have been focused on that. So and then 2 weeks later, after that, the Preakness Stakes, the day before, I didn't bet on any of the races the day before the Preakness Stakes. I just did some handicapping, and actually helped a lot, because then the following day, with a clear mind, I got Balnikov as a across the board bet when he won the dinner party, and I put Mystic Dan also across the board in the Preakness, and he finished second. And I think in both times, the day before the Derby and the day before the Preakness, there was no Golden Hour Pick 4. But with the Golden Hour Pick 4 the day before the Belmont, that's going to be mostly my focus. But there are a couple races I'm considering looking at. One is Saratoga, and the reason is Chad Brown. So anytime there's a turf race with Chad Brown's always is the #1 turf trainer in the country. So anytime there's Chad Brown in a turf race, I'm going to look at it. However, in this race in Saratoga, in the mile just a game, which is a mile race on turf, it's a 7-horse field, and if you can't look at all the Chad Brown trainees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, five Chad Brown trainees in race 10. So I'm just kind of looking over to see how some of his horses would run in this race. If he had 3 horses in this race, I would probably try maybe highly consider leaning towards a super exacta box, trifecta box. But with a 5-horse field, 5 horses in a 7-horse, he has 5 horses in a 7-horse field. I'll probably just look to see how they run. However, the next race is the one that's really intriguing. It's the New York Stakes. It's a race for fillies and mares, and it's a mile and 3/16. So let me underline this one right here. So Chad Brown has 2 horses, and they're long shots. McCulkey actually finished 3rd in this race last year, so is now 10-1, and it's a horse that I'm thinking about considering. I'm really looking to see if how the odds play out during time of the post. Another Chad Brown trainee is number 12, Royal Interest. So this one here is even higher odds at 20-1 odds. If you get long shots for Chad Browns on turf races, you gotta highly consider that, because usually he gets horses that either win, but they're also, let's say, favorites or single digits. This horse here has finished first the last 2 races. The concern is maybe why he's 21 because he has lower buyer speed figures. But yeah, those are the 2 horses I'm really considering maybe playing something small. Let's say maybe an exacta box. Okay, if it hits, it's going to be a good exacta. But I don't want to bet too much the day before the Belmont Stakes. But those are the horses that I'm considering at the Belmont card at Saratoga. So there you have it, the Golden 4 and my insights, and the other 2 races at turf races at Belmont. And as this is the closing weekend for racing ever at Golden Gate Fields, I just want to leave off with my favorite saying when it comes to betting: you bet small to win big.